Should be going now. Are we going now? Can you hear me? Who have we got? Barbara, Tripper, Jeffers 26M, and Mel. So just post anything, just type something. Can you see and hear me? We've got it all planned tonight. Just let me know if you can see or hear me, and then we'll start. Hi, Jeff. I'm just going to close the door. Okay. You can hear me loud and clear. Cool. Right. Well, thanks for turning up. We have the grand total of 14. I was thinking 15 to 40. I'm lucky enough to have 1,700 subscribers. So I thought if 1 in 100 turn up, that's 15, 20, 30. People might join on as we go on. Well, we've got 16 now. How popular am I? Right. You'll be pleased to know that I've got it all planned out tonight. I haven't done one of these before, obviously, and it's an experiment tonight, okay? I'm just going to try my best. I'm going to talk a bit about how Sarah came into being, just general bits and pieces about how I dress, where I go, what I do, why I do it. And then once that's over, I thought we just open it up to you guys. You can just post your questions in the side, post anything you like. If you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So who knows? But we've got to be sensible. Can't do anything that YouTube wouldn't approve of, should we? Okay. So I didn't dress up for tonight, but if tonight goes okay, I think next time we might push the boat out a bit more, because I've just put on me. My mum says I look like a librarian tonight, so I thought we'd try that anyway. Oh, and Penny, if you're watching, oh, that's for you. I promised you I'd do that. Right. Where do we start? Let's see. Let's talk about Sarah, how she came into being over a 30-year period. Okay. At the end, I'll interact more with you, but for now, just give me 10 minutes just to kind of introduce me, tell you about me and how all this came about. Okay. So, now, why am I a tranny? You know, I know a lot of us like labels and a lot of us don't. I don't do that. I'm just me. I like dressing in girls' clothes once, twice a week. And over time, I started dressing in girls' clothes and going out the front door in public like it. Had a few problems to start off with, but over time, spending decent money on hair, learning to avoid the beginner's mistakes, it got better. And now I can go out without that much hassle at all. Still get red. We all get red, but not much hassle at all. So why? I don't know. One of my earliest memories when I was about 5, 6, I was in the toilet, or the bathroom, as they say in America, and I think Mum had left. I think it was one of her nighties, one of her night dresses out. And at the age of maybe 6, I just had an absolute urge to try that on. I have no idea why. I just had an absolute urge to try that one on, and I did. And I'm still trying on my mum's 90s 40 years later. Who knows? So I know a lot of people think there's some sexual thing behind it, and you feel good about yourself when you dress up. But there's something more to it as well, that a 5 or a 6-year-old feels the urge to do that. Why a 6 or 7-year-old? I used to like trying to make friends with girls, not boys. Play football with the boys like you normally do. I used to try and make friends with girls so that I could go back to their houses and play dress up. That's kind of, because I was an only child. I didn't have a sister. I had a mum, and I wore quite a lot of her clothes over time as well. Any comments while we're here? You look lovely. Why not? Picture perfect, great sound, cool. You leave your questions and your bits and pieces to the end. Okay, so maybe take 10, 15 minutes. And if anyone has a problem with vaping, well, so it developed more and more. As I say, I went from dressing in some of my girlfriend's clothes to dressing in my mum's clothes. She had a couple of bags of old clothes, probably from about maybe the 80s, the ones that she'd thrown out about 10 years before. So I used those 2 bags, and I pretty much used those to dress with for 10 years. But that was all it was. You know, it started to develop a bit more over time. To start with, you just wear one of her petticoats, or you'd wear a skirt, or one of her blouses. And then over time, you'd start doing the whole thing. You'd start wearing underwear, and then tights, pantyhose, as you call them in America. And before long, you were wearing the full gear. And you might even try a bit of a makeup on really badly. But this was about mid-90s, early 90s, just before the internet came. And the only way you could get a wig in those days was literally to go into a wig shop. And, you know, for a sort of teenage boy, that just was not going to happen. Once the internet came and you could get things mail order, and you could also see there was a whole community of other people out there. You weren't by yourself. The only exposure really that I can remember, maybe in my childhood, was that film Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman, which I watched about 30 times just to have a look at it and think, wow, there's a man dressed as a woman. You know, I like doing that. You know, there you go. Okay. So through my teenage years, I was born in London, but I actually live in Liverpool now because I came to university here and I ended up staying here. But I had my first place at that time where I could get something delivered in secret. So I got a wig from a company called Contrast Wigs. I don't know if any of you have used them before. I don't know if anyone remembers Geocities, those home pages. You'd have like T-girls would put their home pages. It was a bit like a poor man's MySpace, which is, 20 years ago now. They'd have like 6 pictures of themselves, 20-line bio, I'm a T-girl, and that was it. That was cutting edge in 1999. But for me, that was like a whole new world opening up. So I got my first wig when I was probably about 21, 22. Started to collect clothes. Had a couple of girlfriends in my teenage, early 20s, and had a bit of a wardrobe, had a wig, occasionally would go out and buy little bits of makeup. And then I put the wig on, and it was a cheap wig. It cost about £30, about $40. But I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, hang on a second, you can do this. There's actually a female looking back at you, a bad one. It was obviously a boy trying to look like a girl, but there was encouragement there. And it just snowballed more and more. I spent more money on hair, better hair. And then worked more on makeup, got more of a wardrobe. And then obviously eventually you're going to go out the front door. But I did go out the front door with mixed success to start, because I don't know if anyone's heard the saying, the pink mist. It's a kind of feeling you overcome with when you're so desperate to dress as a girl and go out that even if you look abysmal, you kid yourself into feeling that you look brilliant. So the first time I went out the door, I was wearing 3-inch heels. I'm 5'10" anyway, and I was wearing 3-inch heels. I was wearing a skirt to about here, these black stockings, black sheer stockings, and just a jumper, I think. And I had this really cheap long blonde wig. It was like about this long. It was virtually down to my bum, and it was just. I walked out the front door thinking I'd cracked it. I thought this is it for the rest of my life now. I can just be a girl whenever I want. I look brilliant. You know, my makeup would have been put on with a trowel. And so I walked up the road, the most awkward walk in heels you could ever imagine. Have you ever tried walking up a concrete hill in 3-inch heels when you haven't worn heels in your life? And there were 2 tradesmen guys. I think they might have been roofers or builders. And as I walked up the hill, they were about 20 yards in front of me, and they both stopped. I don't know if you've ever seen that film bit where someone has a cigarette in their mouth and he opens his mouth and it falls out. Well, it was kind of that moment. And they both looked at me and burst out laughing. And they said, "Oh, you're a fella, you. That means you're a guy, you. And get away from here, you pervert." And that was a very sobering experience. But it was 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And it taught me a lot. I learned a lot from that it just isn't good enough to wear a cheap wig, silly clothes at 11 o'clock in a completely inappropriate, dressing like you're going out to a disco at 11 o'clock, on a Sunday morning. And it just isn't right. That's not how it should work. So it was a lesson learned, but no one should have to deal with that, but it's inevitable. It does happen. It was the first time, but it wasn't the last time. I had another unpleasant occurrence once or twice. So really, I've kind of been in a holding pattern for the last 12, 13 years. As you say, I'm not one for sexy dressing. I tend to dress down because of what I do. I like to go out. I like to pass. I like people not to look at me. I like to go under the radar. And I like to do what girls do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I'm not one for going out on the town. I did join a transgender group here in Liverpool, but pressures of work, and I gave it up. It was good fun, but we used to go and sit in a gay bar, and everyone would point to us, the trannies over there. And I wanted to go out and go under the radar a bit more and be accepted as a girl rather than a girl, if you see what I mean. So really, maybe I'll go out twice a month, once a fortnight as Sarah. I over the years, as I say, collected more and more hair. It's not cheap hair. 200. There's my Barbie one, which maybe I'll get round to wearing again another time. I think that's a contrast one. That's about £70. So yeah, it's contrast. So, really, for the last 10 years, I suppose I've just gone out once or twice a month, and I go shopping. I'll go and sit in Starbucks for a coffee. I go to the cinema a lot by myself, actually. There's the one girl that goes to the cinema by herself. The other thing I used to do, I don't do it so much as I used to, but I go out for walks. Living in England, it gets dark and cold and wet between sort of October to about March. So it's a great time to just go for walks around in the street. 6 o'clock, still quite a few people around, but you've got the darkness. When it's raining, you can pull your umbrella down over your face. And obviously don't have a female body, so more covers to sort of help me pass a bit better. So I don't know how girls in places like Florida and California and Australia get by. This makes you hot anyway. It's like wearing a woolly hat in the middle of a sunny summer's day. So I don't tend to go out too much in the summer anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much my history of the last 30 years. And in the last 10 years, I've pretty much been in a holding pattern. A traditional day would be go out in the morning. I'd get the bus into town as Sarah. I'd go for a coffee. I'd wander around the shops for a couple of hours. I used to, I've still got a library card for Liverpool University. And I used to go and sit in the library as Sarah and do my work and pretend to be a student girl, even though I was about 10 years older than all of them. And dressing like pretty flowery skirts and pretend to be a student girl from the 1990s. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else I've missed? So how did Sarah TV come into being? Well, pretty much 18 months ago, I was going down to London. My mum lives in London, and I come down to London quite a lot to see her. But it's also an excuse to get Sarah time, because Mum knows about Sarah. Mum was really cool when she found out about Sarah. And my dad hasn't spoken to me for 3 years since he found out about Sarah. So maybe in one of my video series, I'll come on to coming out and whether it's worth it or not. I probably wish that I didn't come out, to be honest, given that it was once or twice a month for me. She's a big part of my life, but she isn't my whole life. So, but we'll come on to that another time. What's done is done. So, but it means I can come down and see Mum. I can be Sarah for the weekend. I like travelling on the train from Lime Street to Euston in London as Sarah, catching the underground as Sarah. So yeah, that's kind of what I enjoy. It's nothing spectacular. I don't go out on the town and in 3-inch high heels, because I know a lot of people in the comments have been asking me to wear heels, and I can't really walk in them. And I don't go places where heels are really appropriate. And at 5'10", I don't need to be 6'1". But you know, I will. There are plans for the channel. Okay, I will get some heels. I will do a lingerie shop. Well, why not? It's fun, isn't it? I never thought I'd be doing something like this, talking to you guys like this. So yeah, I was sitting on a train and I was bored. I'd actually uploaded a few videos about 10 years ago. My other channel was called Becky SLL. I think there were 4 videos on there, 5 videos, when I wasn't very good. And I found the videos the other day, and I'm 10 years older, so that brings some problems. But I still think I look better now than I did when I was sort of in my early 30s. But anyway, I decided I was bored on the train, and I'm going to do a selfie, and I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to see what happens. And I think about 500 people watched it. And it was literally me there, sitting on the train going, "Hi, I'm Becky." So, you know, nothing major, but 500 people watched it. And then there was another one of me smoking my pipe outside Euston Station, which got about 1,000 views. So I thought, well, this is something. Everyone likes attention. I'm no more different to anybody else. So, and ever since then, really, I've been uploading all my videos. To start with, it was just me going around supermarkets. And then I did a bit more the instructional ones, how to. The supermarket ones are okay, but people watch them once or they'll flick through them. I do it to other girls. Starry Nowhere is my favourite. Been watching her for 10 years. But people flick through them and then they don't come back to them. But if you make the how-to videos, people come back to them a lot more. The first one I did got 30,000 views, so pretty proud of that. And then I thought, well, I'm not the best looking T-girl on YouTube. I'm certainly not the youngest. And I'm the best. I'm not the youngest, but I can do something different. So that's why I make the funny ones. And I know they're not to everybody's taste. Maybe it's just my sense of humour, but it's something different. That's why I'd like to do this for something different. That's why I'd like to do the lingerie shop for something different. That's why I'd like to do maybe interview other people, do more live streams. Certainly got big plans for the how-to series. That might run to about 10 videos if I do that properly. But they do take a long time. They do take, particularly the how-to ones. You got to take pictures of certain things, get pictures off the internet, write the text, work on iMovie, clip it, cut it, bring it all together, move it round, save it, find out there's a mistake, bring it back. It does take a lot of time and effort. I don't mind doing it, but it is a lot of time and effort. So, but that's the plans for the future. So it started by accident. Got 1,000 views and thought, why not? And I think last time I checked, I'd got 400,000 views on my channel. So, I mean, particularly last year when I didn't really do much between March and July. I think I went out once in July to film. I didn't actually upload any videos for about 7 months last year because of obvious reasons. But I'm going to start doing a bit more now. I've done about 10 in the last 2 months, so I hope you appreciate those. Seem to have a bit of a hardcore of following. I think I've got 1,700 subscribers, but quite a few of you just keep coming back. So maybe 50 hardcore. So I've seen a few of you here, but we'll come on to your comments in 2 seconds. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to mention. I'm sure I've bored you silly with all that. But as I did say, this is a bit more of a test. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. And it's proof of concept. And if it goes well, and if we have a bit of fun, then I can do it every week, you know? Okay, I don't think there's anything else. First reading. I think I've covered it all. Not as eloquently as I thought I had, or I would, but I think I've covered it all. So, how long have we been on the air for? 20 minutes, that's about right. That's kind of what I thought. So, shall I start having a look at some of your comments then? Let's go to the top. Hi, I'm Jeff. Yes, loud and clear. Hiya, sweetheart. Hi, Andrew. How long, Jeff? How long did it take to get ready? Do you want the long version or the short version? Usually it takes me about 2 hours to get ready, from literally being in boy mode to being in girl mode, ready to walk out the front door. So no change tonight. Go in the shower, shave as closely as you possibly can. I usually keep my legs and my arms shaved anyway. Don't really like body hair. And then makeup takes about 40 minutes. And then I spend another 40 minutes not liking it, taking it, putting it on again. I spend another half an hour putting one hair on, putting another one on, putting another one on, and then I end up coming back to this one anyway, because this is my favourite one. This one seems to work the most. I think you guys have said that as well, but it's not cheap to buy them, particularly at the moment when I haven't got a lot of money, but there you go. Okay. Hiya, sweetheart, loud and clear. You look lovely. Something in Russian. Post that online. Boo boo, that means love in Russian. Makrash, I don't know what that word means. Insight. Hi, Sarah, babe. A bit late on parade. Sorry. Say you, Penny. Insight. Probably is, isn't it? Yeah. Penny's a friend of mine. Penny sent me a email maybe a year ago, just to say how great she thought I was. Yeah. And we've kind of been swapping messages ever since, been encouraging me. And Penny's, I think there's a picture of Penny on one of the how-to videos, dedicated it to her. So if you want to check out Penny's picture, go on to the How to Cross Dress Part 1. I think it's about the 3rd slide. I have seen Becky's videos. Yes, you have blossomed. I think so too. For that, I'll show you my stocking tops. Okay. Might show you a bit more in a minute, actually, if I'm feeling in the mood. Dantronics, me too. Well, hi, Dan. Thanks for that. Now, they're about 2009 they were. Stephen Simpson, I really enjoy your videos. It's really good to know you a little better. Same to you, Stephen. I know you from like 2 lines now, but yeah, I know you better. Absolutely gorgeous girl. Insight again, Mel. Sorry, I can't type as quick, but have so much to ask and say sorry, Sarah. Never say sorry. I'm the least offendable person on the planet. Tom Worley. When I dress as Claire, okay, good for you. I look forward to dressing and really don't want to change back. No, neither do I. To male form. To be honest, do you not like changing back to male form? Not really, no. It depends, but usually no. Usually once you've made that effort, you've been out, you've had a successful day out, you've been out all day, barely had a second look. You've just enjoyed being a girl, you've enjoyed the wind going between your skirt and your sheer tights, and occasionally getting glances off guys. It does happen quite a bit. Well, not quite, who am I kidding, but it does happen. I have had comments, I have been asked out a couple of times. I don't think they read me. I don't think they were into me because of being a T-girl, but it does happen, which is kind of a really nice compliment, but it's also kind of a bit of a dangerous one as well at the same time, if you know what I mean, because some people really don't like it. And I've had experience of that a couple of times, but in 15 years, I think that's inevitable. I think both times it's because they thought I was something that I wasn't. I think I was actually attracted to me from the side and then got annoyed because they had been attracted to me. No, I don't like getting undressed afterwards. I don't get out as much as I'd like. I think if I had a free hand, I'd probably go out twice a week. You know, I calculated actually how much of my life I've actually spent in girl mode, and I came out with 4 months. So I've spent 4 months of my life fully presenting out in public as female. It's a decent slab for one lifetime. It's about 100th of my lifetime, isn't it? I think. Yeah, just a bit less than that. Okay, well, Tom, as I say, I agree with you. I don't like putting it all away again. It's a little bit sad. The buzz, you lose the buzz, and but there you are. There was a chance I could have transitioned maybe 15 years ago. I had a big life choice, and then I decided that certain things were more precious to me than Sarah was, because it was them or it was Sarah. So I think I quite happily live life in either gender. To be honest, I think I quite happily transition to female, because really I could quite happily transition to female, but it's not going to happen. I can be a girl whenever I like, not whatever, but I can be a girl and do girly things and get by as a girl, as and when I need to, as and when I want to. So male form, ooh, you tease. 2 hours well spent. Yeah, about 2 hours. Used to be a lot worse, actually. I used to be terrible for not. I'd look in the mirror and I think I'd look okay, and then I'd look again and I'd start seeing my chin. I don't like my chin. And I wear these tops because I don't like my Adam's apple, and I'd start seeing the man come through, and I'd be like, "Oh, change the wig, just put a tiny bit more lipstick and all this kind of stuff." And it didn't make a blind bit of difference. I've done just as well going out when I've just thrown it all on and gone out than I have when I've spent 3 hours. So 2 hours. I like to take my time. I like to do my makeup properly, particularly for nights like this. And there you go. Okay. If you could live Sarah full time, would you? I think I've just answered that one. Yes, I could. I could live Sarah full time if I wanted to, but it would upend my life quite considerably. And everyone I'm close to knows about Sarah. It's not like I'm hiding it from anyone anymore. There's a few friends of mine that I wouldn't want to tell, like boyfriends, not boyfriends. I haven't got one of those. But there's a few sort of, men's men I'm friends with. And I wouldn't want to tell them, but everybody else, my mum, my dad, less said the better there, uncles, aunties, a few girlfriends I have, they all know. And they've known for years now. So I don't have to hide it. They don't have to worry why I didn't paint my nails tonight, but that's why I've got flecks of nail polish, why I got caught with mascara in my eyes once, and I claimed I'd been in the attic and it was dusty up there. Mascara around the coffee cups was another one. A couple of times I did that. Lipstick, not mascara. A couple of times I got caught with that and had to make sort of excuses. Yeah, I'm out to everybody. And as I say, if I could turn back time before things happen in life, then I might seriously consider it. But not now. I'm happy as I am now. I had a similar experience with the labourer my very first time out. Yes. When you've been out and about as often as I have out in public in girl mode, you'll start to notice that different types of people. I'm going to stereotype, but there's a method behind the madness. Young sort of labourer type, working class, manual worker type guys are the ones they're the ones that will look you up and down, but they'll also often be the ones that will say something nasty or crack a joke or draw attention to you. That's been my experience. I think women are much more likely to read you, particularly younger women, teenagers, 20-somethings, even into 30s and 40s. I think they're more likely to read you than anybody else, but they're also less likely to say anything. I've never had a problem with female sex presenting as female when they've looked at me and thought, hang on a second. Older generation, they seem completely oblivious, to be honest. Anyone over the age of about 60 has never even given Sarah a second look. I don't think I've ever had a double take or or a nudge. You know, there's the old nudge in the ribs to the person they're with, or they think they're whispering. It's like, and you can always hear it because you have hypersensitive hearing when you're out in girl mode. Never had happened to anyone over the age, but teenage girls can be quite bad because they don't engage brain before they open their mouths. So they'll tend to say, "Was that a drag queen?" Or if you're in Liverpool, it's like, "Was that a drag queen?" And I've had that a few times in Liverpool from teenage girls. But yeah, teenage girls and maybe young working class manual worker type men, they're the two that I've had problems with. But only one experience that I won't come on to it tonight, but there was one experience when it got quite nasty. But I like to think I covered myself in glory. There's a very quick trick you can do in this day and age to put people who give you abuse, you can really put them on the back foot. And it ended up with him covering his face and running off because I got my phone out and started phoning him, saying I was going to report him for transphobia. And I've got him on video. And he started covering his face and he ran off after him giving me a load of abuse. Kind of sad thing is that it was dark and I'd thrown all my clothes on and I hadn't made much of an effort and I was just going to go out for a walk for an hour and I was wearing this inappropriate skirt and I didn't see him coming. And part of passing as a girl is you've got to stay in character. You've got to walk from your hips. You've got to do the old limp-wristed stuff. You've got to flick your hair back. And I didn't see him coming and I stopped and I was fumbling my bag. I must have walked a bit like a rugby player for a couple of seconds. And that's what got me spotted. And he really started calling me a pervert. And it's dark. There was no one else there. But the minute I got my phone out, he suddenly started putting his hand over his face and kept on swearing as he ran off in the distance. So that's a good trick if you ever do get abused. Get your phone out and film them. The only downside is it was dark. So when I got home for the video, otherwise I'd uploaded it to the channel. There's nothing on it. He actually tried to grab the phone out of my hand, and as he did it, I actually turned it off by accident. So when I got home, I got 10 seconds of video of blackness doing this with very sound difficult to hear. So it's kind of a shame, really. But don't let it put you off. It's happened once in 15 years, and it was kind of my fault, really, by not making the effort that night. Okay. I do tend to go off on tangents, don't I? Like I say, this is an experiment. This is the first time. Okay, the pilot episode. Got 23 people. Okay. I thought 15 to 40, but that's cool. Thank you for the 24 who've turned up. Okay, I'm only child, forced to be man boy. Now I'm widowed. Want to do something. I have a fetish on nylon overalls. Well, it's not easy at any time of life to transition. It's a big thing. If you're by yourself now, there's nothing stopping you doing what you want to do in your own time. I wouldn't like to say any more than that, Mel. It's something you're going to have to work through. Obviously, being widowed as well, it's difficult enough time, and you're used to being with somebody else, and now being by yourself with those feelings now coming on top of it. I can't see inside you, Mel. I can talk to you, can talk to you on the screen, you can watch my videos. I can't see inside you. You have to do what you think is right. And in my experience, if you're part-time, it's probably not worth coming out unless you're absolutely sure that you've got a small amount of people around you might already know or are going to be cool with it. Because I don't think I should have come out. And if you're talking about transitioning, that's even bigger step. People said this on one of my videos. Everybody's officially really cool with trans people these days. Yeah, live and let live. Don't be transphobic and all this. But if it's somebody they know, somebody close to them, a friend, somebody they know, then they can be quite nasty. Will certainly gossip. Certain people will certainly gossip. If you tell one person, unless you really, really know and trust that person, if you tell one person, everyone is going to know. I can promise you that. Unless it's a really special friend that you really, really know and known for a long, long time. If you tell somebody, well, you've had a few beers, or everybody's going to know about it. So, but again, I've gone off on a tangent, I'm afraid, Jeff. But you have to work through it yourself. Sorry, babe. Okay. Do you have any children, or is that too personal? Kind of like to leave Sarah's the kind of Sarah's Sarah, and the boy side doesn't exist to you guys, if you know what I mean. Officially, that's how it is. So I don't try and sort of bring my male side onto board. I try and give you just Sarah, the fantasy that is Sarah, and you'll never see me in male mode. This is what you'll know of me. So, but I'll leave it there. I've got 2 daughters. A little bit grown up. Hi Sarah. Hi Rick. Hi Sarah. I've been looking forward to your live feed. Well, I'm sorry to let you down. It's been a little bit here and everywhere. I did have the script already, but 1, I can't read my own handwriting, and 2, it's not going to make much for a script if I'm continually doing this, is it? And I don't know. First, just experiment. You know, I'm going to fail once or twice, but we'll get there in the end. It's just a bit of fun. It's just an hour. How long have we been going for? 36 minutes. I don't know. Does anyone else feel it's been longer than that? Okay. Looking forward. Ali Powell. Hi, Sarah. Been looking forward to your live feed, even dressed up especially. Love dressing up. So do I. Have been for as long as I can remember. So have I. Thanks, Ali. From Wally. When I dress, I feel totally relaxed and at peace. I know what you mean. Yeah. There's do you get that sense of release bliss? I think when you're used to being a man, there is a kind of pressure on men to be men. You see, maybe it's even a subconscious. There's always that pressure. It might even be a subconscious pressure. And when you throw off the male clothes and you put on the female ones, and you take on the whole female persona, you oh, I lost my voice then. Yeah, that kind of male pressure falls off. You kind of, there is a little bit of karma about it. I know what you mean, Tom. And you're not the first person to say that they feel a big sense of relaxation, relief. Maybe it's to do with the swapping of gender roles. You're kind of free from that male pressure for a little bit. I don't know. I just made all that up, but I think there's some merit to it. Okay, Orion's belt, Obi. I call you Obi. Hi Sarah, looking good. Did you really just do that? I wasn't expecting anything. 10 quid. You see, I'll go into that in a bit. Well, thank you so much. I've been watching a few other people's channels doing this and kind of a bit reluctant to do it, but I was hoping to make money from advertising, but you get about £1, about $1.30 for every 1,000 views. My channel was getting about 1,000 views a day. So it's working out to be about 25 quid a month. And if I'm spending 50 hours a month making videos, I'm working for about 50p an hour. Now, it's not the reason I do it. It's not a job, but it's a damn sight better if, you know, you've got people backing you and there is an incentive there. I'm a capitalist. I'm not going to say no. You know, thank you so much. I did say if you were very generous, maybe I could do something for you. Just let me know if there's anything I can do for you, Obi. Thank you so much. I think it's my first one, isn't it? Wow, 10 quid. Yeah. You do know YouTube gets £3 of that as well, 70%. Mel, would you prefer to date a bloke or want to be a sissy? You think? Would I want to date a bloke? I tell you what I'd like to do. I like being a girl, and I'd like to go out on a date with a bloke. I'd like to have I'd like to be the girl, you know, to take. That's probably the last step I haven't actually done. I've done everything else. I've dressed up as a girl. I've been everywhere, presenting as female. But I've been to nightclubs. I've even been to court to give a witness statement because Sarah saw someone get punched once. Sarah gave a witness statement in the court in Liverpool. I've been on trains everywhere, but I haven't actually done that next step. I did think about doing a boyfriend video. That was something that I kind of put the idea out there, and I had a couple of emails from nice guys, I'm sure, but I didn't follow up on it. But yeah, to do the boyfriend video in terms of like holding hands, sitting on a bench, cuddling up, just for the video. But whether I would go any more, I don't think so. I don't know. Definitely, I don't know if other girls can relate to this, that when you're a guy, you're just not attracted to guys at all. In fact, it's quite. But when you put on the girl stuff, I think as someone else said, that relaxation comes. There's a kind of relaxation. There's a kind of attraction to the male side, the kind of alpha male, because you're the female or something. I don't know whether it goes back to when I tried my mum's night dress on when I was 5. Maybe there is a little bit of, a bit more going on, something biological, genetic, and it does come out when it comes to dealing with boys. I'm not really explaining this very well, but would I date a boy? I'd go out with someone for fun, but I wouldn't promise anything. So the answer is I'm curious. I think that's the answer to that question. In terms of sissy, I'm not really into all this kind of fetish stuff. I know some girls are. I went to a nightclub in Manchester about 10 years ago. I can't remember what it's called. It's a famous one for trans girls. And some of the sites in there, people in sort of those bondage nurse uniforms and that kind of fetish scene. I've never been into it. I dress like a librarian, really, as my mum just said to me. I'll try and dress a bit better if we do this more regularly. I promise. The next time we do one, say next week or in 2 weeks' time, I promise you I'll really show off. But I dress down because I don't want to get red, because I just don't want to be out, be a girl, and go home. So I'm not really into that fetish stuff. But if you are, knock yourself out, darling. Okay. Looking good, sweetheart. What films do I like to see? I don't know. I don't really like Hollywood films these days. I think all that superhero stuff, no. I can't remember the last time I went to the cinema. It must be a couple of years ago. Mine is probably the same for everybody else. I'll watch anything. The films from my childhood will always be special to me. Things like Jurassic Park. I mean, I know it's probably the wrong place this probably sounds pretty out of order, but I do like war films. I've got quite an interest in World War I and World War II. So Saving Private Ryan and the Band of Brothers TV series, I like all that stuff. World War I films. Honestly, now you put me on the spot, you see. You should write these questions before, and then I can come out and say what I like. I remember Tootsie when I was a kid. I think it was about 15 years old when I first saw it. That was one of my first films that really made an impression on me, the Dustin Hoffman one. If you haven't seen it, I think most of you probably would have. He dresses he pretends to be a woman so he can get a job. And so that was quite an eye-opener for me. So, what films do you like to see? Thank you for your kind words, Mel. I hope so. As I say, I can just try my best. I'm not the best agony-aunt in the world. What would your ideal date as, Sarah, should you want to? What do you think here? I mean, I'd love to sort of wear the ideal date would start with me probably getting my face done, getting my hair done, probably wear a really nice dress, sort of medium heels, really cool handbag. I do like black sheer tights, but I tend to wear nude tights. I do like those with some heels. I put all my lingerie on, and then he comes and picks me up in his nice car, takes me to a restaurant. We go and sit in the bar afterwards, with a glass of wine, and he starts getting closer to me, putting his hand on my knee, and then who knows? Does that answer your question? I think I think I just like to have fun. I just couldn't answer that question until I'm actually in that situation. I couldn't answer that question whether I would ever take it any further. I see myself as heterosexual, as a boy. I think another part of the reason I dress is because I really am attracted to girls. And I also think that spills over into an attraction for their stuff. So I'm not only attracted to them, I'm attracted to their stuff, their underwear, their skirts, their hair, their makeup. But if you put me in that position and the boy comes, I don't know, does that innate feeling that I had when I was 5 years old, does that then take it on to what a genetic female would do in that situation? I just don't know. Okay. Getting from a snowy Sweden. I think you commented on my videos before, Jane. Thanks for coming by. I hope you can understand what we're saying. In my experience, most people from Scandinavia and the Low Countries speak better English than we do over here, so I think you can. Hello. Not snowy here. I think it might snow tomorrow, though, but it's British snow, which means it's about that deep, and the country still comes to a standstill. Jeffers, that's cool. You are doing a good job. Really interesting. Do you think so? I'm kind of really literally making it up on the spot. The questions are good because it does give a format. The first 15 minutes was a little bit, and then I bought a wig, and then I went to Starbucks, and and then, but this is a bit more better format. It's a bit more interactive as well. So hopefully, I'd like to interview other people, other girls. We can interview anyone, really. Anyone who's got an interest in being trans or attracted to trans, whatever you like. So you can hear from other people rather than just me droning on. We're going 47 minutes. Okay. I think we're running towards the end of the questions now anyway. Yeah, you're so right on that, Sarah. Obi. Again, thanks, Obi. I didn't expect anything, to be honest. It was, as I say, it's more an experiment and for the future. But to give me 10 quid is very kind of you. Anything you want me to do with it? Because I'm open to suggestion. It's because I appreciate what you do, how you do it, and you make me laugh and smile. Oh, I'm not the best looking T-girl. I'm not the most passable looking T-girl on YouTube, but I hope to be the funniest. I'm not a natural comic, but when I sit down and have time to think about it, I'm actually quite funny. I think I am anyway. Sense of humour is not always everyone's cup of tea. It does get me in trouble sometimes. But I'll continue to make funny videos. But I think what I really need to do now is to make some sexy videos, to get those heels, to do the lingerie shoot, and do that one next. That's what I really need to do, because I think I've done the kind of funny videos for now. The how-to series I'll keep doing. I'll just keep doing that. That might take a year to finish that. But to do something new, and I think we'll do something a bit sexy. If you want me to buy anything, Obi, you can always let me know. Tom agreed totally. Martin, yeah. Martin's the guy that posts those kind of montages of sort of Dutch, British, cross-dressing, cool. I don't speak Dutch. You might have seen the comments after some of the videos. They're about this big and they're full of hearts and Dutch words. I'm basically saying how pretty and beautiful I am, which, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. I'm happy to hear your voice. It's interesting about female voice. It's difficult. It's very difficult. I try and avoid actually speaking to people when I'm out, because when I'm talking to you now, I'm kind of pushing the tone up a little bit. The best voice, there's all sorts of resources on the internet telling you how to speak in a female voice, but it's really hard. Talk from your mouth, and different tones and intonations. Women speak like this. Well, not my mum doesn't. So I just try and speak a bit like this from the mouth. If you speak in a Scouse accent, like, that actually sounds a lot better, actually, because it's more nasally and higher. So when I'm in Liverpool, when I go out in town and I really need to speak when I'm out of Sarah, I'll often do the Scouse voice like that, mate, and it tends to work. Happy to hear your voice. There you are. Happy to see you here, Erica. Mel. So a date, then go back and me to dress up. I don't do other tea girls. What I don't do, that sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? I'm not attracted to other tea girls at all. I'm really not. If I'm going out with somebody, I'm the girl. Yeah. Just as if in normal life I'm the boy. But yeah, not really into other tea girls. Sorry. Hope you find someone who is, if that's what you're looking for. What you felt walking in the streets as a woman? You're always nervous when you go out. I've been going out as Sarah in public now for 15 years, no 13. And you'll never stop being nervous going out the front door. And sometimes I still lose my confidence. I really do. I'll go out and the first 2 or 3 people I walk past, and if they don't say anything to me, then literally my confidence will do that. Whereas if the first 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people look at me a bit funny, I can literally lose my confidence. I've actually been known to go home because I've lost my confidence because someone looked at me funny within a few minutes of being out. But yeah, on the flip side, there's definitely a buzz to it. It's a kind of natural high to actually being out as a girl, people looking at you as a girl, knowing that you're wearing women's underwear and you've got a knee-length skirt and you're wearing black sheer stockings and you're out in public and nobody's batting an eyelid. It's a fantastic feeling. Absolutely. There's an adrenaline rush there as well because of the nerves. So yeah, it was more terror when I first started, and now still can take me 5-10 minutes to get my confidence up, walk past a few people, and then I'm away. Then absolutely away. I mean, at the moment, because you can wear a mask when you go to the supermarket or when you're on the train, it's just a bit too easy, to be honest. I don't say that because I'm the most passable cross-dresser in the world, but at the end of the day, if you're walking around, maybe I did my eyebrows, especially for you as well. If you're walking around like that, you're just not going to get read unless you start walking like the rugby player again. If you do your deportment and you walk from your hips and you've got a face mask on and hair like this and glasses, no one's gonna read you. So it's a little bit easy at the moment, but I still enjoy it. I still go out. I'm gonna go out tomorrow actually, so maybe I'll get some video done tomorrow. Do I have? Great to watch you live, Paul. Great to watch you live. Hi, Paul. I like Hacksaw Ridge. I saw that about 2 months ago. Is that one with Mel Gibson? And they go to Vietnam and they all die apart from Mel Gibson and a few others. I think so. I think I saw that. It was all right. Yeah, it was okay. 1917. It was a bit lightweight, wasn't it? It was built up to be this wonderful film. I thought Dunkirk was the same. I thought they were really lightweight. I went to see them. I watched them. I enjoyed them because I like that part of history. But in terms of films, I just thought there wasn't as much to them. It just wasn't much going on. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was rubbish, but it wasn't very good. It was average to Band of Brothers on box set. Yeah, that's good series. Jane, yes, I get you, sweetie. Okay. I honestly don't speak Swedish. I can speak ein bisschen Deutsch and ein petit peu français, but I'm afraid I don't speak any Swedish. Don't have anyone from Germany on tonight, do we? I translated one of my videos into German. Well, Google translated it for me, but no one watched it, so I probably won't bother again. Do I have holes in my ears? I've got holes in my stockings. I actually got them to run. Yeah. I got my ears pierced about 10 years ago. I went to one of those ear piercing places in Liverpool, and I joined the queue, and there was me, like a 30-year-old guy, and there was about 7 10-year-old girls in front of me. And I got both of them done at the same time, and I had these 2 metal bolts put through my ears. And they were quite jazzy things, but they just looked a little bit out of place on a 30-year-old guy. And a few people at that point started asking questions about, do you think he's a tranny? Yeah. Well, they didn't tell me that at the time, but I found out subsequently that getting my ears pierced was a big clue to a lot of people, but they just didn't say anything. So that and having shaved arms and nail polish flecks and things like that. I put nail polish on my toes and didn't wash it off once as well. And I went to the swim baths. Okay. Where did we get up to? A sexy leather skirt, please. I don't own too much sexy clothes. I really don't, because it's kind of a say I go out to the supermarket or I go to sit in Starbucks. I really don't own. I like pretty stuff. I think I just came from an era when my brain was forming and getting attracted to girl stuff was about the late 80s, and women still wore girls' clothes. Used to wear nice skirts and black sheer tights and just pretty dresses. And nowadays, women's fashion is to look as much like a man as possible, if you ask me. You could disagree with that, but when was the last time you saw a young girl wearing a pretty skirt or pretty dress out? Very rare. So if they won't dress as girls from a different time, pretty girls, then I'll have to do it for them. That's why I like pretty girl stuff, flowery stuff, proper lingerie. Stuff that you probably don't see too much of these days. Sorry, I'll try and stop fiddling with my hair. Oh, I do have. Is Obi? Are you still there? I've got something. You like these? Got to keep it clean. I don't think they mind you flashing your underwear once or twice, but I don't want to get the stream pulled. Okay. Got your bra on as well. Wear one of those little lacy vest things. I like those. I don't know what they're called. And I always like wearing petticoats as well. That's from a different time. You never see them anymore, but I do like them. I like them. Let your skirt flow a bit nicer, and they're quite cute. So, okay. Agree with your. Do you have holes in your ears? Yes. Sexy leather skirt. I don't know much sexy, I'm afraid, Mel. But time goes on, and if people like Obi keep sending me lots of money, then why not? Agree with your ideas for lingerie heels live stream. Good. You're a big fan in Ireland. I wonder who that could be. Many thanks for this, Sarah. Very informative, and similarities are plenty. I think there's an awful lot of similarities between all of us. We all start the same way. There's something. It tends to run through 3 different phases, really. Let's be honest here. There's something when you're a kid before you become a sexual being. There's definitely something more to it than just sort of like getting off on wearing women's clothes. When you go through puberty, there's sexual excitement to it. I admit to that. And then as you get older and older, it becomes more now about the kind of the whole image. Still nice, still feel nice, still like being a girl, but maybe there's a little bit of eroticism about it, but it's much more now than just feeling sort of sexy and turned on. It's gone well beyond that now. It's almost like an art form and part of me, and I suppose it's more just creating the image and the adrenaline and all that thrown in now is why I do it. I could never give it up. I could never stop going out. I might have to start changing my appearance, my style soon. Maybe I'm getting a bit too old for this hair. I don't know. Certainly getting a bit too old for this one, that's for sure. Okay, we've been going for an hour, so I'm going to do another 10 minutes. If the questions keep coming, I might start going through them a bit quicker. But I need a pee as well, so always pee sitting down when I'm here. Love you, Barbara. You're probably my #1 fan, Barbara, and I think you live across the road from me virtually from what you're saying. We will meet up, I promise you. It's just not the best of times at the moment. Don't the supermarket staff clock you then? Not very often. Yeah, supermarkets are very good places to go because when you're outdoors, particularly if you've got longer hair, or the wind will destroy your hair. So I always like going indoors, like shopping malls. And if it's a cool day but not very breezy day, I will go outside. But I prefer go shopping indoors, so there's no wind to destroy your look or your hair or your makeup. And supermarkets are actually quite good because no one's really looking at anyone else, particularly in supermarkets. They're always focused on looking at the shelves. And you can stare at the shelf with your back to everybody as well if you're feeling a bit nervous. So you can hide away in the supermarket. You can hide away in plain sight in a supermarket quite well. So that's where I started. I started doing little walks at night. And then when I started going to food stores, big supermarkets, and that's for that reason, because people just don't really seem interested in other people in supermarkets. It's a good place to hide. Do the staff clock me? Once or twice. I think I tend to avoid going back to the same places, particularly smaller stores. I tend to avoid going back to the same places because if you're 5'10" and you're wearing knee-length skirt, and you get noticed, people notice you. I notice 5'10" girls in knee-length skirts when I'm out in boy mode. And if you keep going back, they'll recognize you, and then they'll start thinking, oh, hang on a second. So some of my videos, early videos, were shot in Marks and Spencer's in Liverpool. It's a kind of very small, it's just a food one. And people, and I noticed the staff in there started looking at me a bit odd and started lingering glances. About my 3rd or 4th trip there. So I try and avoid going back to the same place over and over again. But if you want somewhere to start, somewhere where your hair's not going to get destroyed, try a very big supermarket. A really good place to go when you start is like a hardware store. Like in the UK, we have B&Q and Home Base. In America, you'd know them as hardware stores because they're really big places and they tend to be sparsely populated. There's not as many people in them. So that's another really good place to start if you want to go out in public, if you want to be indoors in a sheltered environment. But bookshops are good. You can loiter in bookshops as well. You can pick a book up and bury your face in a book and slowly and surely start moving around and see how you go. So yeah, bookshops, hardware shops, supermarkets, really good places to start. Libraries are good places. That's a bookshop, really, isn't it? Just don't buy the book. Okay. Pencil Market, Hacksaw Ridge. I was thinking of We Were Soldiers. That's what I was thinking of. I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge. I know what you say now. It's about the conscience subject who wouldn't take a gun into the theatre of war. Wouldn't catch me doing that. Superman actor Christopher Reeve, isn't he dead? Must be a different one. Jane E. Do you buy makeup, clothes, shoes, and wig online or in shop? I do both. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. My mum buys me quite a lot of girls' clothes these days. She bought me this top. Apparently it's designer. I couldn't tell you what make it is, but I got this skirt off of eBay for £2. Floral thing. The stockings are from, I think they're from Boots, lace top stockings. Can't reach. I think I've already shown you them. These are from Boots. Suspender belts from somewhere. Yeah. The underwear's from Marks and Spencer's, and the suspend belt was £1 off eBay. The lace top stockings are about £7 from Boots, and these shoes were about £4 from Tesco's. I always like flats because you can walk around all day in them, and they cost peanuts. Size 9, which is a bit of a problem because I'm one size outside of mainstream range. We have shops called Evans in the UK, which does outsize shoes, but the selection is always terrible. Really horrible, clunky navy blue things with heels sort of like this. And when I have bought shoes online, I've always been disappointed. They don't fit, or they just look crap. But I'll have to start being a bit more productive. So, okay. You buy clothes, shoes, and wig online. I do both. So both really. Don't spend a lot of money. I go to places like Matalan, Primark. They're cheap shops in England. eBay, and get a lot of stuff off eBay. A lot of me shoes and stuff like that. I always get me. I used to buy my hair off of the internet. Rene of Paris and a place called Contrast. Contrast Wigs used to sell Rene of Paris wigs. Then I found a local shop in Liverpool called Wiggins. They're closed at the moment for obvious reasons, but they're still doing mail order. And I go in there about once a year to buy some hair, about £200. But say the one thing you cannot skimp and save on is hair. Everything else, you can. Some people spend £400 on boobs, on breast forms, and that's it. It's a stocking with some rice in it. I think they're about 10 years old, those ones. So that's a little good trick for you if you haven't seen my how-to videos. Okay. Last few minutes. Mel Gibson film is good too. I like World War II films. A Bridge Too Far. They're the oldie ones. I think Sean Connery's in A Bridge Too Far, isn't he? Was that Michael Caine? Or was he in The Dirty Dozen? I don't know. I never thought I'd be talking Michael Caine and Sean Connery World War II films on this stream. Saving Private Ryan, the first 20 minutes is the best war scene you'll ever see. Camisoles. Okay, well, I'm wearing a camisole, which I got off eBay a few years ago. I like those. Proper foundation wear, bra. Yeah, you call them. Some people call them knickers. Some people call them panties. I don't know. Just call them underwear. So decent bra, decent panties. Tend to prefer wearing tights or pantyhose just for practical reasons, like most girls. But I put my stockings on for you guys tonight. Slips and camisoles. That's my full foundation wear. That's everything. Because I'm going to say in another video is a lot of us would really want to wear. Someone wants me to wear a leather skirt. I want me to wear a top, sort of down here, crop top. But I tend to just dress down because you can wear as sexy stuff as you like underneath, and still feel great knowing that you are wearing stockings and you're wearing the cutest underwear from, but wear what you like. But if you want to go out for the first time, just be sensible. That was very nice. Thank you, Obi. I didn't expect to get anything, and for you to send me £10, you're in my good books now. You're definitely in my good books. And even something like that, it makes a big difference. It really does. I'm thinking about buying a new. Everything I've done, every video I've made, has been Windows iMovie on an iPhone 6. Literally, all those videos have been made on an old second-hand iPhone 6 with free download of iMovie. So quite versatile what you can do with it. But I've taken it as far as I can. So I'd like to invest in a better movie maker as well. So if anyone else wants to donate, go ahead. But It was an experiment tonight, and it was very nice of Orion's belt, OB as I call him, to, I assume it's a he, to do that. Barbara Edmonds. Dear Sarah, I have realized I am falling in love with you, and yet I do not want a full sexy release. I thought you'd quite like a full sexy release, Barbara. I cannot see the donate button. Do you have a wish list site? Okay, there should be a $sign, the super chat sign. I can donate to myself. At the very bottom of the live chat, see, I can't see what you guys are seeing. I've got my video in front of me, and then I've got the chat on the right. I'm assuming you're all seeing the same thing. But at the very bottom, where you can type the box, in the very bottom left-hand corner, as you look at it, there's a smiley face, and then there's like a $sign. I think it's supposed to be a super chat S with a made into a $sign. I think if you hit that, then it takes you how you can do it. I can't really donate to myself. Super chat. So if you press that, it goes to super chat. I think you can then send from there. Honestly, I don't really know how it works myself, but if you don't mind, I'm not going to say no, but if you can't work it out, don't worry. Did my mum just enter the room? You don't want to know about my personal life, but unfortunately, my uncle died 4 days ago. It was my closest uncle. We all have that. You might know the kind of trendy uncle, young trendy uncle you have when you're young, and he takes you out to McDonald's, and when your parents say he's not to, and you play football in the park with him. He died 4 days ago, so I'm actually in London at the moment. I'm down to be with my mum for the funeral. So I was planning on doing this in Liverpool, but family emergency, unfortunately. But yeah, that was my mum. I did invite her to come on and say hello, but she doesn't want to. But I can get her on if you want. She's very Cockney. She's very London. She's like, all right, Matthew. That's my name. Did you ever go through the purging phase? No, I never have. It would break my heart to do it. I think I've just been lucky in that the people I've had space to do it in the past, and I've gone through phases of not dressing for 6 months and then dressing again and not dressing for 6 months. And when I came out, the people that rejected me were people. They weren't people. I mean, your dad's as close to you as anyone, but I didn't see him. I lived in Liverpool. He lived in London. I saw him twice a year. So the fact that he hasn't spoken to me for 3 years isn't a massive deal in terms of. I didn't see him very much anyway. He means my dad, and it's upsetting. And he can't cope with the fact his son does drag once a month, once a fortnight, you know. But the problem is, there's a problem. No, I've never purged. I know it's quite common for people, never again. And then within about 24 hours, they're regretting it and starting to collect stuff again. It's expensive, you know, purging. If I purged everything I own, female-wise, probably cost about £3,000 or £4,000 to replace it all now, all the hair and everything. So no, I haven't, and I would advise you not to. Certainly don't have a few beers and after having a row with a significant other, and you know, stick it in the attic. Don't dress for a bit. See how you go. Okay. Can't see your problem with wearing 3-inch heels if you're only 5'10". It's a confidence thing. You know, I just like to go out and be left alone. And I just think that 5'10", you kind of just about fall into that natural range of female. And when you hit 6'1", with high heels on, people are going to look. And I just don't want to go there. I will get some, promise you. But it's just not really. I've struggled to walk in them. They're giving me blisters. They do look good. I mean, I like to see a girl in high heels and stockings as much as anybody, but I will get some. But as I said, those are my reasons. Sorry, Spider-Man actor. Okay. Did you just give me 10 quid, Jeffers? like I say, what can I say? It's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Obi and Jeff have given me £10 each, and that's £20, and that's more than the channel made in January from advertising. So it makes a big difference. We should do this every night, perhaps, eh? That's really kind of you, Jeff. I thought if I got one, I'd be doing well, and to get two is fantastic, particularly at this time with events going on and people like me losing their job. There you go. It's not really a job. It was like a 0 hours contract thing, but they don't need anybody at the moment, so don't feel too sorry for me. Barbara, I really hope so, just to be some lovely go out shopping. And yes, I just wish you and me together out shopping. Oh, well, I'm saying we can meet up. It'll happen. Just calm down a bit. Turn and face the strange. That's a good name. Yeah, you're lucky to find a size 9 in the UK. You will find them in places like some of the more glamorous places like Tesco's and Primark. Primark do size 9s, but this is literally what you're going to find for size 9 in those places. But then they're £4, so you get, and they're nice and comfy to walk in. But if you want really nice, proper going out shoes, heeled shoes for a size 9 or above, then the range in Evans is pathetic. It's terrible, and you won't find them anywhere else. So it's just on the internet, in my experience, unless anyone else knows any better. Okay. But occasionally Primark has something, yes. £5, £5.com. I have to check that one out. £5.com is a bit rich for me. I'm a bit more of a cheaper girl than that. That's not a pair fast, size 10. Good for you. Jeff's still talking about films. Both those actors were in A Bridge Too Far. Tights, How I Love a Girl in Tights. More practical. Why women wear tights? And I eventually came around to their way of thinking. I've never come around to their way of thinking of wearing jeans and trainers, tracksuits. What a waste of femininity. Does anyone else agree with me about the way modern girls dress today? I say modern girls, I'm not that old. It just seems such a waste that it's left to people like us to actually keep femininity alive, feminine clothes alive. And I'm generalising, and there are plenty of girly girls out there. Of course there are. But, very often I'll go out into a store and I'm the only woman there that's wearing a skirt. I'll always wear a skirt. I never wear trousers. I can wear trousers every day of the week, so what's the point? And I'm Sarah. So, there you go. Here's I Love You, Baby. Oh, I missed that one. Mark sent me £10 as well now. Sorry, Mark, for not responding. You were off my screen as I'm scrolling up, so I didn't notice it. I thought it would ping with fireworks going off on the screen and everything like that. Like, Mark has sent you £10. Again, thank you very much to Obi, Jeff, and Mark. That's £30 now. So my current rate at the moment is 30 divided by £25 an hour. I make doing live streams. It's really kind, Mark. Again, stocking flash or panties flash. You're cool for that. I really need to take your advice and buy a decent. You really do. Turn and face the strange. This one's Rene Paris, medium brunette. That's about £220. Rene Paris is the brand name, but all wig shops will have that brand. So the one I use is a place called The Wiggins, as in Bradley Wiggins, the cyclist, Wiggins, in Liverpool. They're in Penny Lane in Liverpool, the Penny Lane in Liverpool. That's where I get mine from. They're still doing mail order, I think, at the moment. That one's an old one. I don't even know what that one is. Medium brown. I got that from a wig shop in Southport about 10 years ago, but it's just a bit too Marilyn Monroe-ish, platinum blonde. You've seen the videos of it when I was wearing it when I was 10 years younger. This one I think is a decent first starter. If you can read that, It's upside down, or is it? I don't know. Contrast wigs. That's a shop. I think they do their own range. I think it's in somewhere like Bolton or somewhere in North Yorkshire, I think. Contrast wigs. They're about 70 quid. That's where I started. They're really good to start. They're not the Rene of Paris. They're not the real deal. But they're really good starting place. The only real difference I found between these and the Rene of Paris ones is these last. This hair is now about 8 years old. This one's about 10 years old. I haven't worn this one, but they tend to wear quite quickly. Within a year or two, they tend to wear, and you get all the kind of stringy bits, and you don't get split ends, but you get stringy bits and stuff like that. So, good starting place. If you haven't got a lot of money, contrast wigs, just Google it. They're in Yorkshire, I think, somewhere in the north of England, and about £70 to £80. Get yourself a medium dowdy colour, up to you, but get yourself a medium dowdy colour. I think that one's a kind of silvery blonde. I started off with the same style as that, but just brunette. Brunette's 10 a penny, and no one looks at brunettes, and that's what I was after. So, contrast wigs to start if you haven't got a lot of money. Otherwise, Rene of Paris. But say, I've never had a real human hair wig. People have said to me, there's nothing quite like it, but also apparently the maintenance on them is terrible. They have to be like properly, not dry clean. I was going to say dry clean. The maintenance on them is really got to be looked after, and they can cost 4 figures for a real human hair wig. So I wouldn't bother. You can get 5 of these for the same price, and these you can just stick in the. I literally wash this. I squirt some shampoo on it, put some conditioner on it. While it's wet, I stick it under the shower and dry it, and then I hang it on top of the shower head to dry. Comb it out in the morning, and it's as good as new. So, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Sorry to hear your sad news. Thank you. Yeah, he was it was his time. It's always a tragedy. It was his time. There you go. Thank you for saying that, though. Okay. Jeff found the donate. You certainly did, Jeff. Hope you find something nice. Dear Sarah, I hope you don't think I am a we. Listen, Barbara, we'll meet. We'll go out. Honestly, we'll go out and we'll have a laugh. Okay, I promise you. Just calm down a bit. It's okay. Are we or he, Barbara? You'll have to ask Barbara that. I totally agree. You have a beautiful style. I have a feminine style, which would be considered nice, say about 25 years ago, say 30 years ago, when I was a kiddie growing up. When the things I was attracted to when I was 5 or 6, when I had that innate sense of desperately needing to try on my mum's stuff at the age of 5. Those were the styles of those days, and that's what I became attracted to, and that's now why I'm probably about the only girl in the shop that's wearing a skirt because of that. Yeah, the blonde weakness of Bob. That's right. Yes, I think a Bob style suits you. There's a few videos, a few pictures I found from about 10 years ago. I was 10 years younger. I just think I really haven't tried it on. I haven't tried it on for years. Maybe I should do. I missed the comment, Ali. Sorry. Absolutely. It's such a shame girls dress in trousers. Love a girl in a dress or skirts. Me too. As I say, all we can do is keep it alive then. If the only people that are going to wear pretty clothes, flowery skirts, petticoats, pretty lingerie, nice tea dresses, like something from the 1950s, those housewife films. If we're the only ones that get to keep that alive, then we'll have to, and I'll do it. Yeah, get away with it. No one's ever looked at me because I'm wearing a skirt. You get away with it. It's not like it's unheard of for a woman not to wear a skirt. It's just uncommon now to see, particularly younger women, dressed in a more feminine style. I think we can all agree on that. When you look at their fashions, in the magazines or what's on the display in the window, it tends to be like hoodies and you know, jeans showing their, you know what I mean, Ugg boots, you know, not heels. It's just a shame. Maybe it will change. Maybe it will, but it seems to have all gone in one direction in the last 20 or 30 years. There doesn't seem to have been a sort of feminine pushback. Don't know. I think that's about it, really. Have I bored you all silly? Still a few questions. Let's see. Long way is Bob. Do you nodal? What does that mean? No. Do I go to work as Sarah? Yes and no. I've never been to work as Sarah in the line of work that I used to do before I packed up. It's like a profession. You wouldn't do something. You wouldn't just turn up in girls' clothes one day for fun or just because you could. Save resources. Your tabs will go to sleep. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. So I haven't actually been to work as Sarah, but I have been. Sarah has been to work. Sarah has been walking around work using her official pass and walked past people she works with as Sarah for a bit of fun. Yeah, Sarah sat next to work colleagues on the same table without them knowing. That was a few years ago. I've actually sat next to one of my friends on the bus as Sarah a few years ago. Sarah was sitting next to one of my best friends on the bus. It was his best friend. He knew me as his one of his boyfriends. The guy he went to the pub with and talked about football to. And he was sitting. Sarah was sitting next to him one day on the bus. We didn't we? We never do. Okay. Would you like to take Sarah on holiday when able to? A couple of times I have done. I spent 2 weeks as Sarah about 3 years ago. I had 2 weeks off, and I booked into a very cheap hotel in Liverpool, and I lived for 2 weeks as Sarah, just as a kind of experiment. I think it was a bit of a time when I was thinking things weren't too good in my private life, and you know, I had a couple of weeks away, and I thought, well, let's try it and see how we go. So that's probably the longest I've spent in girl mode. Pretty much spent 2 weeks in girl mode. I don't think I did it every day. I think maybe 10 days out of 14. Particularly if you're shaving closely all the time, your face can get really quite bad. So you have to give it a break, no more than really 3 days in a row before, you know, the moisturizer is, you know, it's just not enough. But yeah, to go away for a week somewhere nice as Sarah, check into a nice B&B, sounds good. Do any of you run a B&B? We're quite close to Blackpool, and Blackpool certainly used to be, if it's not still, it's a very sort of tea and gay friendly resort, a lot of sort of karaoke bars and stuff. It's not really my scene, but yeah, maybe we'll do that again. Where would I take her on holiday when able to? I don't think I could go somewhere warm just because of the way I dress. And when you wear a wig, it's like a woolly hat, in effect. So sweating can be a big problem. I mean, I'm not overweight or anything at all. I don't sweat at all. But when you've got a hat on and it's 23, 24 plus degrees in the summer, it can be really tough. And I've shown you the trick to use the tape to pull your face up to give yourself cheekbones, and it just falls off. And so I would avoid hot places, maybe Scotland or somewhere. I even just check into a hotel 2 miles down the road and just be Sarah. So yeah, maybe Blackpool. Yeah, I like walking in the hills as well, but I've never done that in girl mode. I don't think I'd do that in skirt and stockings. I have to call it a day in a little bit. I'll just go through to the end of the questions, and I'm going to give you all a big hug, digital hug, and then we're going to say goodnight. And I quite enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for coming by, and thank you to those of you who sent me money. I didn't expect it, but that's very, very kind of you. So there's more money tonight than I've made from 6 weeks of advertising revenue from YouTube. So keep going. Barbara Wiggins, I think we spoke about this, didn't we? Or we swapped messages about it. Okay. It's a shame girls dress in trousers and skirts. Let's hope so. Yeah, I hope girls do start dressing again a bit more femininely. But not hopeful. It's all been going one way. But I'll always wear pretty stuff. So there you go. I have a couple of spare rooms, Jeff. I tell you what, Jeff. What was I going to say? It's difficult because I don't mind swapping a message or two with you if you want. Have you got my email address? It's should be on the channel. Sarah J Jackson 145 @gmail.com. And we'll take it from there. Because very kind you to send me the money. So the least I can do is send you an email or two. And if you're on Messenger, maybe we could have a chat on that as well. I don't think Sarah's on Messenger, but if you are, send me your handle on to my email address. Maybe we could have a chat from then on. So Sarah J Jackson, all one word, @gmail.com. Thank you, Sarah, for a nice live event tonight. Was it okay? As I say, it was a little bit kind of tangential. Yeah, a bit hit miss, a bit all over there. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking. Hopefully you've enjoyed me kind of my roundabout answers that didn't quite get to the question that you asked in the first place. But I'm so glad you've enjoyed this. Yeah, I have, Mel. Definitely have. Sleep well and sweet dreams. You've done great. Okay. As I said, I came with all these plans, but like, you don't want me to just be sort of like be back at school. So I think I'll be a bit better prepared next time. This seems to work quite well. This question and answer thing, it gives a format to it. Mixture of, just a mixture of everything. You get to talk about World War II films too. If that's my mum coming in the room, to why women don't wear skirts anymore. Okay, night. Thanks for the chat. We are chatting already on Yahoo. Do I Skype? I think so. I don't think Sarah's got a Skype handle. We're already chatting on Yahoo. Are we? Send me an email. Take it from there. Same time next month then, Dan. I think I might even do it earlier than that. Now that the proof of concept works, and we've been chatting for an hour and a half, I think I could go. I think we'd call it a day there, though. I think we've all got lives to lead. But I think I'd definitely do it again, maybe in a fortnight, something like that. 23, I think we got up to about 30 at one point before I bored them off. So, yeah, it's definitely worth it. I was expecting 15 to 30, so I got there in the end. Okay. You prefer it more spontaneous anyway? Well, maybe. All right, let me think about it, and I'll let you know. Hopefully, I'll do it in the next couple of weeks. 6th of February, so do it before the end of the month, definitely. But I'll let you all know. I've got another video, just a general advice video to run alongside the how-to series. Missing a bit of footage. I haven't got any new footage since Christmas, so I don't want to keep making videos, recycling the same old stuff again, because I think I've done quite a lot of it over and over again. So I do need to go out and get some new video. And once you've got, what you see on the video is only about the 5 minutes you see on the Sarah in the supermarket. That's often about 90 minutes of footage. You have to just go right through it and cut all of the rubbish out. People are always walking in front of the camera, or just not happy with it, or I don't know how wearing a mask at the moment. That's another reason I didn't go out for quite a while, because I didn't think it'd make much very good video walking around with me with a mask. But then in the end, I thought I'd do it once or twice. But I don't want to keep uploading supermarket videos with me wearing a mask. So I'll have to go outside, more graveyards perhaps. How about that? Okay. Right. I think that's my best angle, I think. Yeah. Okay. You are a star. I don't know. I'm not going to say no. Yeah, why not? I try my best. Just say it's a little bit daunting to do this live, but once you get into it, I'm sure everybody here could do it themselves. Maybe we could spin it round and speak to other people. I'd like to interview other people, but we said that. Right. I really am going to wind up now. Okay. So I don't send any more messages apart from good night ones. Don't wish to sound ungrateful. Okay. You've been great. I look forward to the next one. Night, sleep well. Thanks for the chat. Which I'll come back there, months please. I hope you get in touch with me. You've got my email address. It's just going to be a while until we can go out. Right, I'm going to type good night all, and I'm not going to answer any more underneath. I am going to say thank you to the 3 people who, Andrew, Jeff, and OB Orion's Belt, who sent me some money, because that makes a big difference. You know, it's very kind of you, and it gives me a little bit more heart, particularly after. Won't go into it. I've written the message on my channel about what's happening with YouTube. Is they are, you know, the bigger you are, the bigger you get, and the smaller you are, the smaller you get. So I'm going to grow the channel organically. 1,700 subscribers. Seem to get 2 or 3 new subscribers every day. So let's just keep it going and grow organically, and maybe things will change. We can do more of these. And I do thank you very much for everyone for tuning in, especially for the 3 people who gave me some of their hard-earned money. Makes a big difference. And that's about the 3rd time I've said it makes a big difference. And it makes a big difference. Okay. Right. Good night, all. Love, Sarah. XXX. Off we go. Right. I'm going to end stream. Okay. But hopefully get some new videos up pretty soon. Ooh, I'll show you my stockings one more time before we go. There you go. Actually got a ladder in them, as you can see somewhere. Okay. Ah, oh, there you go. One more. Don't get me into trouble with YouTube, okay? Don't want to lose all my videos. Okay, good night, Sarah. See you later, Penny. Good night, everybody. Good night. Stream will stop immediately. Good.